Hello and welcome everyone back to the Cat on Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are back with another, not a banger video. Unfortunately, it is an emergency video. It is currently 5 a.m. In the morning, but I wanted to make this video quickly so I can address what's going on. A lot of people have been asking me what are my thoughts, what am I doing as well as a result, as a reaction to this. Okay, the TLDR, I'm doing nothing, but I'll tell you what I think about the narrative behind PDAI and PWC. Where does it stand? And why did this even all start? Okay, and it is the fact, it's to do with the Atropa dev that's doxed. Maria Rahel, that's his alias. His full name is James Osborne III. Guys, he's fully doxed. Like, he gave talks in the PulseChain tour last year in Netherlands. Like, a lot of people trusted him. I trusted him. Okay, but what we're gonna see today is, where did this all start? How did it unfold? And moving forward, what does this mean for PDAI? Okay, in the TLDR, we have actually seen a reply from Nyan Capital, and I do believe this, by the way, is that, hey, the same PDAI contract that we have on PulseChain is the same one that's running on Ethereum. So there is no mint exploit, guys. If there was to be a mint exploit, that would be inherited from the same Ethereum contract that's currently at $1. The only difference that we have on PDAI here on PulseChain compared to the Ethereum is that we started with the supply but not with the over collateralization, versus Ethereum where it started the over collateralization and then the supply. Okay, aside from that, everything is exactly the same. The PMaker vaults are working perfectly fine, as you can see by these two websites here. The system surplus, guys, it's currently at 322 million PDAI. This is good. That's buy and burn pressure. If you guys didn't know, watch my latest video. I talked about this. And again, one of the main concerns that the Atropa dev has raised is the unlimited minting. Okay, I actually believe the Atropa dev doesn't even know that much about PMaker, and he actually admitted that in his live stream, which, yes, he was live when he was dumping his tokens. It's absolutely crazy. Look what he says. I do not know anything about MakerDAO, like the PMaker. Here he says over $300,000 of PDAI was minted yesterday, and he's snapshotting the total supply before and after. But guess what? During this whole time of minting, the total debt ceiling did not increase. Okay, that's the key number to keep an eye on. So I really do believe there's a kind of a miscommunication, misunderstanding from the Atropa dev, which is very unfortunate because he capitulated. He acted emotionally first. How about you reach out to the people? I don't know where this all started. Well, actually, let's start with that. Where did this all start? Which brings us to this tweet from Almighty, which apparently he has Atropa dev's number since last year's PulseChain tour, where he was one of the most people that spoke with James Osborne. So let's look at the screenshots and how did this conversation kind of unfold. Okay, so here Almighty says, is PDAI exploit on purpose? Is this an issue that we should be concerned about? And then Maria says, what exploit? Apparently, there's an address that sold 1 million of PDAI and bridged out by exploiting the MakerDAO contract with minimal collateral. I always have the understanding that it's just the price discrepancies in the stablecoins that people were to arbitrage. I'll get you the address. And then he says, total supply does not appear to have changed. I think they were minting significant amount of DAI out of the Maker contract with little to none collateral. Okay, and then now he says, I have never trusted Maker. And then he provides the wallets. And then he says minting does occur on PDAI contract, nothing unexpected on charts whatsoever. And here Almighty replies by saying, so to again summarize what's going on, there is bad debt accumulating in the system. A loan position is considered bad debt after it has dropped under its 150% liquidation requirement and went through a collateral auction but failed to raise enough DAI to pay off the debt. In this case, the unbacked DAI issue are now considered to be system debt accumulated in the VOW contract. In order to clear the debt, the MakerDAO starts a debt auction. And again, guys, if you don't know any about this, watch my previous video. I explained about how all of this is actually very bullish for PDAI. Okay, it's actually incentivizing the flop auctions or the debt auctions. It is actually incentivizing people to participate in this auction. It was basically like an arbitrage event where they're going to offer, by minting Maker, they're going to offer to the people, hey, if you give us PDAI, we will give you this PMaker, newly minted PMaker at a cheaper price. Okay, and this is a win-win for everyone, because actually what happens with that PDAI, it gets bought and burnt. This is why the number that you see here, the larger the number gets, the better the case is for us. You will see, and this is again, it takes us back to here, the 9-hour capital. It says the noise is only going to rise until the flop auctions start, which I think right now is probably around 2.5 or 3 days. Like, just be like, I'm very excited for this. Obviously, it's not financial advice. And then he says, stay focused. PDAI to $1 is inevitable. So I really do think, sadly, we have, and this is coming from me, who, you know, one of my favorite holdings is you know, teddy bear, etc. Which, by the way, I'm still holding my teddy bear, and I still DCA'd into teddy bear. Okay, because at the end of the day, we actually don't need a Atropa dev, and he hasn't been doing that much with like teddy bear really, aside from creating liquidity pools with treasury bill. But really, it's been community made. Like, it's been a community takeover. He didn't even want any deck screener icons or, you know, banners or whatever, or even a website. So we had to do all of that. Okay, so I think it really doesn't really matter. This could be seen as a bad actor that's now been gone. And it actually, when you look at the live stream, which I'll leave the link in the description, you can literally go to see all the logs. You can skip towards the end and then scroll up and see what kind of interesting answers that he gave. He even talks about, if I scroll down right here, he even mentions, you know, he goes, I have reason to believe Somi is part of the DAI team. Now, what does he talk about the DAI team? Well, it gets kind of worse from there. So this is a screenshot that really confused a lot of people. So it's the same chat with Almighty here, and he says, why are you selling Atropa in wrapped Ethereum? This is where Atropa dev followed by, exposure is too great, and I tied DAI to my contractors in Kentucky who stole my family rifles as the market started crashing. I have a plan to retain value for everybody. Atropa is exposed too much to DAI. They can infiltrate the whole system. What is he talking about? What family rifles? Why are we talking about contractors in Kentucky? What a time to be in crypto, guys. Oh my God. And then it kind of gets slightly worse with this second and probably one of the last screenshots here, where Almighty talks about, hey, that's not good. What's the health issue? I'm not sure what he's referring here, but maybe it's talking about Atropa's personal health issue. And he says, smoking, mold, and cat waste. He said, found an obnoxious game that sleight of handers from the Freres Club at the Magic Castle are using against us, where we can win as long as it's absolutely not Wednesday until the sun sets. All bets are off. Don't tell Blippi. Like, I mean, even Almighty there, I think he had to take a few hours to kind of process what message he's just been sent. And he replies back with a, is this PDAI exploit on purpose? Now, just to show you kind of the amount of damage that happened out of all of this, because I showed the screenshot here, you can see that he actually was dumping Atropa, he was dumping PDAI with like 10k clips, and you can see this is the wallet. I'll leave it in the description. You can see the amount that he sold. I think right now it's around 517,000. Did he bridge out? I don't believe that he has bridged out yet. I'm not really sure, but there was some screenshots of him talking about that he wants to leverage the Ethereum. We'll see. But in terms of the damage that happened for the day, I'm actually very, very proud of the community, guys. A lot of people actually think about PulseChain as we're only jitters, we're only dumping whenever the prices go up. But something that we're really, really great at is actually eating those dips. We have almost eliminated the whole dip. We're back to where we started before Atropa even sold. So very, very proud of the community that we're in. And I was actually watching the chart when it went all the way down here, and I'm very happy that we didn't go any lower, because we still made it just above the previous low. So technically this chart pattern is still on a higher high, higher low, which is very bullish for PDAI overall. Yeah, so right now we're at 0049 when we dropped all the way as low as 0013. Absolutely crazy. So kind of to see what happened within the day, a 78% drop, and then if you were lucky to buy at that bottom, a nice 3.7x. yes, it's a 3.7x. you have to add another 1x to this number here. So I'm really proud of the community, people like you and I, okay, who either bought the dip or literally just did not act emotionally, did not capitulate. Because most of the people that are dumping here obviously is Atropa, who's again acting emotionally. I'm really sad that this happened, because it's all a little misunderstanding. But I don't get the whole rifle being stolen stuff from his aunt or whatever he talks about. And now there's like a fabric company that have biochemicals, and he has a box that he's saving, like some wild stuff that he was talking about. I don't even understand what's going on. Is it cryptic, or is it Atropa? Is he Kanye West of PulseChain? That's all I'm trying to say. Is he Kanye West? You know what I mean? I don't know. But PwC, guys, miraculously, and this is something that's really, really cool as well, okay, is that it's still been holding on the same ratio. It was really, really cool. And this is what Nine Iron Capital had to say on the Telegram regarding that, because your friend saw me, our friend saw me here, also recognized it. And he said, PwC is in the PMaker vaults. People keep saying that the oracles are broken and still pointing to Ethereum. But perhaps this is exactly the point. Again, do you understand what he said there? I don't know. But all I'm trying to say is that the next leg up for PDAI, we will go to 9 cents to 12 cents. Not a financial advice. I like to believe in something. Same thing with PwC. We will see another next leg up to 7 to 11, around that price target, 11K. Okay. So it really is just a matter of time. We've seen this again and again where we had these retracements followed by the next leg up. Okay. These are not reversals. These are just redistribution phase. Okay. This is just a retracement, a correction, a pullback, whatever you call it. Not a reversal. Okay, it is still very, very bullish. And I do say the PDAI and PWTC narratives, they are one of the greatest USPs for PulseChain. If they fail, what's actually exciting about PulseChain? Yes, fair enough. It's a fork that's 70% quicker than Ethereum, and a bunch of other things like 47,000 validators, very greatly decentralized, but that's not enough to attract people's attention. We've seen Solana, that is absolutely a mess in terms of being, it's not 100% uptime, but it still became the unicorn of this bull run, or at least at the beginning mini altcoin season wave that we've seen in January to April of 2024. But for the people who are losing a little bit of hope, I really want to reinstill that confidence in you. Number one, I have not sold a single penny. Matter of fact, I've actually bought the dip, and I still suggest people to look into PDAI and PwC LP for version 2. I'm going to make a video on this. I was planning to do so. It is currently at 61% APR, which is nothing compared to where we've seen this number go up. I have seen this go up to 200% APR. I'll speak about this in the future, why it is absolutely amazing. And the fact that the liquidity, let's look at the liquidity chart. The fact that we've seen it drop, guess what? That means you can get a bigger piece of that pie with the same amount of money that you would have. But anyways, that's going to be for another video. Going back to it, this is the video that I wanted to share with you guys. Big shout out to our friend Sami here for sharing it. And let's see what Richard R has to say. Did he talk about PDAI? You tell me.
What happens when USDC gets forked onto Pulse, but is not redeemable for dollars? I bet you the price isn't zero. Does it stay $1? Let's take Tether. Tether had fractional reserve, may still have, nobody knows. They got $650 million seized from a Polish bank by the Polish government. Then they had a token sale, the Leo token, to make up the difference. But they were fractionally reserved and still held their peg. So how fractionally reserved can a stablecoin get and still hold its peg? Will USDC on the Pulse network be worth $1? I have no idea. Will the admins that control the admin keys for this fake cryptocurrencies just invalidate them all and risk having their users sue them? I have no idea, but we're going to find out real soon. Yeah, we're going to find out real soon. There's some really, or algorithmic stablecoins going to be worth more because they don't require a dollar bank.
He's referring to PDAI there.
Account to back them. Don't know.
Hold on, and this is my comment down here. Notice how he mentioned USDT, USDC, but not PDAI, but still hinted as the other algorithmic stablecoin that doesn't require a bank account and also does not have admin keys. Moral lesson, have a high protein diet, PDAI, and that's the picture. This is a picture that I made ages ago. Protein diet, 5,000x gains, trusted by professionals, friendship confirmed. What a time to be in crypto, guys. Honestly, these are really opportunistic times, and nobody said, okay, this is just another example that nobody said this crypto game is easy. Okay, you might think like, oh, I find a bullish project, I buy a bullish project, hold it till I see a 1000x, easy, right? But no, we are hit with the toughest mental battles out there, guys. It is really an emotional roller coaster, and I've been there, guys, and I've been there with PDAI, I've been there with PWBTC. It has been a wild ride. But again, if you're ever in doubt, just zoom out. You will realize, okay, that we've been here before again and again, where we had some massive FUD events. Okay, and you'll realize that actually sometimes less number of trades is more. Stay confident within your bags, and I'm just so proud of the community that are buying back, because it was a huge dump pressure. Like even right now, the core tokens, you know, we're back to we created new all-time lows with Pulse. PulseX went down double digits. So now if we look at the chart, look at this. Look at how well it performed and it recovered. Look at that, guys. We basically eliminated the whole dip. And that dip was huge. It was 20%, guys. Look at that. It was 20%, which is a huge, 26%. Like, and this is a blue chip. It's a very heavy blue chip. And we just eliminated that. So I'm incredibly proud to be in PulseChain, man. And I will never stop making those bullish videos, because if I'm bullish, I want to share that with you guys. And I've been bullish the exact first day. I swear to God, I've never lost doubt of anything that I was holding. Big shout out to the PTGC ecosystem, because they also had a huge dip where they went under, and I think they reached around probably 60 million market cap, which is a godsend of a discount. And yes, that also has recovered quite well. So I'm just very happy overall. You know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I'm not as confident in Atropa Dev moving forward from this, but I still believe in Atropa token itself, because of course the Atropa / PDAI LP is one of the biggest LPs. It is the biggest LP here in PulseChain. So if you go here to top and sort by liquidity, you will see Atropa / PDAI is still Hart's Law. Amazing. You can see that it's also the second biggest LP. So Atropa is a huge token here to hold. And likewise with Down is also another token that's basically a leverage of Atropa. So all in all, guys, the same tokens, the core 7, the Atropa ecosystem, I'm very bullish on all of them, Teddy Bear, etc. So, you know, unfortunately, it's just that we've seen this, and with or without them, PDAI and PWBTC will still shock people. So again, its simple question is, would you rather wait than buy, or buy than wait? And basically the TLDR of this whole situation, I'm just chilling, zero emotions, just holding. You can call me crazy, but I still believe nobody said this crypto game is easy. Trust in the process and trust in God. And I'm just going to end this video by covering this tweet that reminds us that this is all part of the plan of Richard Hart. PDAI is one of the reasons that he created PulseChain. He has always been fond of the DAI stablecoin, and he wanted to take it a step further. He wanted to make it truly decentralized with no admin keys. And the fact that PDAI would then be the native stablecoin for PulseChain, unlike how DAI is not the native stablecoin for Ethereum. It doesn't have a native stablecoin. The same thing with Ethereum, how it doesn't have a native DEX. But guess what we do? We have a native DEX, which is PulseX. We have a native bridge, which is the bridge.pulsechain.com. We will have a native stablecoin for PulseChain. So I'm very excited. So here the tweet says, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce that today you are witnesses to the greatest PSYOP in PulseChain history. And as expected, most of you fell for it. I didn't. This is why you need to join my Telegram link in the description. Guys, okay, join it. We were literally speaking about this with the whole community live when it happens, and I told people and other people, we have very smart people in the group chat, which I'm very proud of, that are telling each other, hey, hold. Yes, this is a huge FUD event. Yes, we're unsure. A lot of us are saying, hold on. Like we assume that Atropa Dev knows more about PDAI than us. So if he's exiting, if he's selling, if he's skeptical about PDAI and the DAI team, why should we hold? Do you know what I mean? Like, but we still reminded people that the best thing to do is not to act emotionally. Still, best thing to do is actually let the dust settle. Hold. Let's process what's going on. Okay? Why should we realize our losses? It does not make sense. So join the Telegram. Save yourself. Be part of the conversation, especially during times where it's heavily on the self-doubt. Okay? Don't be left alone during this. So Richard forked Ethereum, including a buggy DAI that has endless exploits. And now, because of this, the entire chain is effed forever. Oh yeah, how could I forget? Richard made this naive mistake when building PulseChain. Do you seriously believe Richard is that dumb? So Richard hinting over 6 times at PDAI was just for fun. He'd love for you to get wrecked on his own chain. You think he would have warned you instead of soft shilling the only stablecoin actually needed for this chain to become a self-sustaining ecosystem. PDAI is the greatest narrative on PulseChain, the only narrative that brought the most hype and users to the chain. And you selfish, hateful, mouth-breathing OGs got jealous because Hex wasn't the first one to pop. Don't you get it yet? PDAI's successful pegging would bring glory to the entire chain, to all the core projects. But that's not a story you'd understand. And by the way, this is something that I've said a lot. The Hyperloop theory, and actually where I said the leverage of PDAI would be back to the core 4. PulseX, Hex, and INC, and EHEX. Okay, remember that. I've mentioned it so many times and I've tweeted a lot about this, the PDAI Hyperloop. I can make another video to talk about this specifically, so leave that in the comments below. It is very, very huge because it's the fact that Richard Hart owns 12 billion of the PDAI supply. So this is very huge. Now imagine 12 billion minus the 26 that we have right here leaves us with 14 billion. And of that is another 5 billion that was forked from Ethereum originally. So that leaves us with around 9 billion. Of that is around 3 billion that's currently in the liquidity pools, the pooled PDAI, which the biggest liquidity again is the Atropa / PDAI, which has 2.8 billion. So that leaves us with a final 6 billion. So stuff like this system surplus, which I really hope it keeps on going higher and higher. Imagine this goes to 1 billion, which again, imagine burning 322 million PDAI. That's going to be buy pressure, guys. So keep an eye on the price action when the flop auction starts, which is about 2 to 3 days from now. And here he ended the tweet by saying, "You just had the biggest buying opportunity of your life, and yet again you faded and fell for the constructed trolling. Thanks for playing." And he leaves a screenshot here, which I do believe it could be from a 9 Capital from the DAI PulseChain Telegram, which I'll leave the link in the description. This is all the confirmation that everyone needs. And this is a screenshot from Maria. It says, "The whole network will fail if PDAI goes to 0. So giving us really conflicting comments here. But this is a reminder, as without PDAI, PulseChain cannot function or thrive. Thus, PDAI will not only peg, it must peg. It was always planned to happen, and we're on the verge of it happening. Richard would never make the mistake of forking a bugged, exploitable stable that would kill his entire chain. How naive can people be? He has set the stage for PDAI to make PulseChain whole." So very, very nice tweet here. Well done, sir. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope I summarized what's been going on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. You have reached the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and hope you're leaving this video more confident in your bags. It is 6 a.m. I am going to sleep straight after uploading this video. So you guys are absolutely amazing. I love this community, every single one of you. Again, I still believe in the core 7 as I have always been. The same thing with the Atropa ecosystem, same thing with the PTGC ecosystem, and the core 7 is PulseX, Hex, EHEX, and INC, PWBC, and PDAI. So it's never, the plan really never changed. Okay, with or without certain people, we're still going to go to glory, I do believe. Not financial advice, but you guys are absolutely amazing. A big thank you to the YouTube members who are choosing to support my small channel. Remember, they have access to my members exclusive videos where I talk more about the psychology of the market cycle. Really, really helpful stuff. And if you want to see a hint on what those videos are like, watch my previous one of the previous videos, which is "Be Ready for This to Happen." That kind of gives you a hint on my technical analysis that I go in those members exclusive videos. So yeah, you guys are amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. What do you think of this event? Did you buy the dip? Are you holding? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Share this video with the crypto friends and bros. Comment down below. It really does help this video boost in the YouTube algorithm. So you guys are amazing, and take care. Remember, trust in the process and trust in God. Bye-bye.